Happy Wednesday, everybody. It is the middle of the week. It's our first full week of online learning, 5 days, so we're moving through it. Um, Today is also, more importantly, today is Earth Day. All right, so we will have an exciting activity to do with that um, today as well. Before we get started, make sure you've got something to write with and something to write on. If you need to go get that, hit pause, and then let's rock and roll. So today we are going to kick it up a notch, as my favorite chef, Emma Lagasse, would say. Today we're going to work with mixed numbers times mixed numbers. So let's look at 1 and 2/5 times 2 and 3/4. Go ahead and pause it, solve it however you think we need to solve it. All right? And when you're done, roll along with us. So when we look at this problem, I'm going to show you two strategies, and it's two strategies we used when we did a mixed number times a fraction, right? So we're just building on what we know, okay? It's nothing totally new, but I'm going to show you two strategies. The first strategy I want to show you is the box, okay? So if we think about the box before, we had this top part, right? Or I guess technically it's this bottom part. So it's like 2/5 times 2 and 3/4. We've already been doing that. So now we're just making it 1 and 2/5. So now we just make the box like this. But literally, guys, every step is exactly the same. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3/4 is 3/4. 2 times 2/5 is 4/5. 2/5 times 3/4 is 6/20. Okay, so I'm going to stop here for a second. Pro tip, all right? Next thing we have to do is add all of this up, right? We talk about we don't multiply, we don't subtract, we have to add it. If you if you add the two fractions with the smaller denominator, okay, it's going to make life a lot easier, and I'll show you in a second why. So we've got 4/5 plus 3/4. And then we use our common denominator, right? So 4/5, I times both by 4 and make it 16/20. 3/4, I times my numerator and my denominator by 5, gives us 15/20. Add them together, and that'll be 31/20. Okay, so one thing I like to do is I'm going to put a little check in these two boxes because I've added those together. Sometimes when we have a mixed number times mixed number with all four things, we forget to add one of the boxes, which is crucial. Now, I said I wanted to do these two smaller denominators first. The reason with that being, what did my denominator turn into when I did common denominator? 20. This is already 20. So all I have to do is add that on. And guys, that'll happen in every single problem that you do for mixed numbers. That'll make your life so incredibly easy with doing this. That's a 37, not a 31. Sorry about that. So now I've got 37/20, right? I've used three boxes. That's going to be equal to 1 and 17/20. Now, the step that everyone always forgets, and I almost forgot it today myself, you have to add this 2 on. Do not forget about this last box, right? You've done all this work. You've worked so hard. Whew, I'm done. No. You got to do the easy part now. Add that 2 holes on. And you're left with 3 and 17/20. All right, so that is the box strategy for mixed number by mixed number. Now I want to go through an improper fraction strategy. Now, yesterday and Monday, when we worked with this, there was only one number we had to turn into an improper fraction, right? Well, today there's two. It's not that big of a deal, okay? I'm going to turn this into my improper fraction, so that'll be 7/5. And guess what? I'm going to do the same thing here. Crazy, I know. And that's going to be 11/4. That's going to be equal to 77/20, which is equal to 3 17/20. Now, before we move on, guys, I want you to take a look at this. Obviously, check your work if it needs checking. Figure out what happened if something went wrong. But I also want you to evaluate your strategy. If we look at these two strategies, do you think that you're doing the one that's best for you? Okay, maybe best for you means you understand it, it makes the most sense. Maybe best for you means it's the least amount of steps, least amount of work. Okay? Is there a more efficient way to think about it, right? We ask that question all the time. Is this the most efficient strategy? So I just want you to kind of self-evaluate yourself for a second. All right. So we're going to move on. You're going to do these two problems, all right? So go ahead, do your strategy, solve each one, make sure you're showing your work, and be ready to check. Now, before we solve these problems, I'm not going to do both strategies for both problems. I'm going to show you both strategies, but one of the strategies I've already done, okay? And there'll be like, so this one we're going to go through the box together, okay? And then I'll show you improper strategy done. Next question, we'll go through improper fraction together, and then I'll show you the box done, all right? So if we have 3 2/4 times 1 2/5. 3 2/4 is part of the same number. 1 2/5 is part of the same number. So they have to be on the same side of the box. And we solve all the inside stuff. Right? And now I'm going to add these two first, right? Because that's going to give me this denominator. 6/5, 2/4. So this will be equal to 24/20. This will be equal, we're going to multiply this by 5. Sorry about that. This will be equal to 10/20. Add this together. 34/20. And because I did it that way, it's super easy. I just have to add that onto it. No other common denominator work is involved. 4/20. And then, what's that? 38/20. And then I slap the 3 on, right? Gotta do that last part. 3 and 38/20. Which is equal to 4 and 18/20. Right? Now, if we think about improper fraction, 3 2/4 is 14/4. 1 2/5 is 7/5. That's a 5, not an 8. So then 14/4 times 7/5, do this. 4 times 5 is 20. It's 14 times 7. Now, boys and girls, don't do this in your head, okay? Show the extra work. Get it right. So I did my work down here. 7 times 4 was 28. Drop the 8, carry the 2. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 2 is 9. Drop the 9. 98/20, which would be equal to 4 and 18/20. All right? Next problem is 4 1/3 times 2 or 5 2/8. So 4 1/3, that's going to be equal to 13 thirds times 42 eighths. Whoa, that's a big problem to do. 13 times 42, 24. It's all right because I'm going to use my standard algorithm. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. Go to my second line, put my 0 down. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 4 is 4. Add this stuff together. 6, 4, 546. 546 24ths. Okay? So now if I look at my box, I'd set up my box, right? 4 1/3, 5 2/7, fill in the box. Then I'd start adding them. Again, I'm going to go with these ones first. Okay? So now I've done these. And I will add on this. Now I've got 61 21st, which was 2 and 19 21st. And now all I have to do is add on that 20. 20 times 2 and 19 21st is 22 and 19 21st. And I made a mistake here. This should have been that. So then, sorry about that. That's going to jack up this whole problem. Did I? $37. 13 times 37, which would be 481. Sorry about that, guys. I completely messed up there. So then that's not there. 481 21st, which would be equal to 22 and 19 21st. Okay, sorry about that again. So today's work, you've got some practice problems to do on Schoology. Make sure you're checking your messages on Schoology, okay? I've been looking at your work and giving you feedback. It might be, hey, this looks great. It might be, hey, you need to look at this one again. Okay, so please make sure you're doing that. Office hours today are from 10 to 11. Y'all, please come if you need help, okay? Or if you had a question yesterday about your work, please come, all right? I'm here to help you, right? I am your teacher still. So please come and ask for help if you need it. Also, please be on the lookout on your Schoology page for an Earth Day activity, all right? We can't have Earth Day without doing an Earth Day activity. I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy yourselves. Make sure you get your work done. Check your messages. And I'll see you in office hours if needed. Bye.